YoungHotelier.com is delighted to be joined here today by Craig Cochran, who is our Director of Human Resources for Movenpick Hotels and Resorts in the Middle East and Asia. Thank you for taking the time to join us, Craig.
My pleasure, thank you.
So would you like to share with young hoteliers what it is, I suppose, the milestones that have brought you to this current role?
In Dubai. I started my career, I suppose, at university. Like most people at 18, I had no idea what I wanted to do. But my family had worked around the world as I was growing up, and I stayed in lots of hotels, so I thought, gee, that would be a good idea. And I studied hotel and tourism management. Did that for 3 years in the UK, and managed to pass my degree, fortunately.
Managed to pass?
Managed to pass.
Good.
And came out to Dubai for a vacation, actually.
Right.
And liked what I saw with the hotels and decided to send out my CV. So I was working at the time in food and beverage in Sheffield in England, where I come from, which is not a patch on the glamour of Dubai, so I didn't quite know what to expect, but I was fortunate enough to be offered a role with the Jumeirah Group as a management trainee initially,
right.
Which I did for 3 months. Fortunately was very successful and was in HR at the time. This is 10 years ago now, and I decided that I liked HR, I wanted to stay in it, and I was offered a job to work on the opening of Emirates Towers, and then basically moved on from there and stayed in HR and have been doing it since. So I was with the Jumeirah Group for close to 9 years.
Okay.
And then this wonderful opportunity with Movenpick Hotels and Resorts came up for an area position, so here I am.
Very good. Tell me, what are the unique challenges, I suppose, and opportunities in many ways that you face here in a human resources role in the Middle East?
I think the biggest, not challenge, but the biggest thing that you have to respond to and work with is the international setting that we work in, with so many different cultures and nationalities coming together to work together. That presents lots of unique opportunities, I prefer to call it, than what you would find in other places where you have a stronger local workforce and a stronger national identity in the workforce, whereas here it's much more of a melange of different cultures, and that makes life a lot more interesting for me.
It's good that you look on that as an opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's one of the best things about working in Dubai, and I'd say to anybody who wanted to come here that you need to be prepared for that and you need to embrace it, because that's what determines your success or failure, in my opinion. It's how you work with everybody else here. It's far less driven by your individual abilities than it would be in a more established labour market.
What would your advice be to hoteliers, I suppose, on tackling the recruitment and retention crisis that, what I envisage is on the horizon? Maybe you beg to disagree, or? I
do, actually. I think there is a retention issue which faces everybody, but I don't actually subscribe to the recruitment crisis.
Is that because you're wearing your HR hat, or?
Yeah, I mean, I've been recruiting in Dubai for 10 years now, and it's no more difficult now than it was previously.
Interesting.
There are plenty of candidates out there. It's just that the focus has shifted a little bit more, and you're less likely now to find, what would I say, the finished product. You're not going to find somebody with 5 years experience who's wanting to come and work in Dubai in a front office position. But what you can still find is young, energetic people who have English skills, who have the desire to work in the industry and the right personality. And the focus is more on how do we develop those people and retain them, rather than recruiting somebody who's ready to hit the ground running. Which I actually think is a better way to recruiting on, we say,
young talent, I suppose.
Yeah, recruiting on attitude rather than on experience.
When you say that the shift has changed, obviously, now over the past 5 years, how do you find filling, let's say, at the more senior roles, so at this point on a management or a director's level?
Again, there are plenty of candidates out there, and particularly people who are wanting to come to the Middle East, not just Dubai, but to the whole area. The standard of living is extremely high. The quality of the hotels is extremely high. The opportunity to work internationally is very attractive to people in our industry, and again, perhaps you have to work a little bit harder to find the right candidate, but they're still out there, and there's still the desire for people to come here. And as I said, I haven't struggled to continue to fill positions in the last few years, so I don't believe that there's a crisis. I just think that we perhaps need to channel our energy a little bit better than we were doing before.
Good, good. Very good.
I think companies are making far more use of their own websites now and are less reliant on recruitment consultancies and external agents to help them find candidates, and it's more about the term employer branding has become a lot more important in the last few years. It's more about having a brand that attracts candidates to you already. So I think if you have that element of your business working for you, then recruitment is not such a challenge.
Do you at any point look into other industries other than hospitality when you're recruiting?
For certain positions, yes. We wouldn't look into another industry for an executive chef or for a front office manager, but certainly for a director of finance or HR people, marketing.
You do consider people who are possibly looking for a career change later on in their career and possibly looking to join the hotel industry?
Yeah, absolutely. Many of those skills are transferable, and it's just a matter of, again, if you have the right attitude and you want to work in a hospitality-based industry, potentially dealing with customers and the like, it's definitely possible to make the switch.
Good, it's good to know.
It doesn't take long to learn the ins and outs of the hotel industry.
You're just transferring the skills over, in effect.
Correct, yeah.
So what words of wisdom would you share with, I suppose, the younger generation of hoteliers now that are looking to progress or to make a career in hospitality?
I think the best advice I can give is to make sure you know what it is that will make you happy when you're working, because it's something that you're probably going to do for however many years, 30 years, 40 years.
You become a slave to the trade.
Correct, yeah, absolutely.
I love it.
And you need to make sure you choose the career path that's right for you, rather than the one that other people tell you should do, or the thing that you think you're good at. Do something that you enjoy rather than something that you're good at, because the two things are not always in line.
That's a very good advice.
And doing what I do, I've seen many people who they've got to a stage in their career where they have benefits, salaries, people who rely on them, families and such, that makes it very difficult for them to change at that point. And when you're 35, 40, it's too late almost to make a career switch. And I think that people really should consider it before they go too far down the line.
So find it is what they enjoy doing as opposed to what they believe or others are telling them.
Yeah, you'll always have career counsellors throughout university, and you'll also always have parents and family members telling you what you should do. The money lies in this career, or you'll have success in that career. But
my mother is still practicing that role.
There you go. But if you don't like selling and persuading other people, don't go into a sales job. If you don't like working with Excel spreadsheets and with numbers and attending board meetings, don't go into a finance career. I think that's really it's really important that you understand what will make you get out of bed and go to work happy every day, and that's what you need to do.
So I suppose if there was one word to describe the future that you see ahead of you here in the Middle East, what would that be?
In terms of the hotel industry?
Yeah.
Booming.
Booming.
Yeah, I just see it continuing, to be perfectly honest. Again, in the media and when you talk to people, you hear about the bubble is going to burst eventually.
Everyone is talking about.
I don't think there's any bubble. This is just a very successful town with a good plan for the future, and an excellent hotel industry already. And when you look at the projects that are being developed, there's more excellent projects coming. And why wouldn't people come? We have the service standards are very good. We have the products that are very good. We have great weather most of the year.
Sure.
So it will continue to be a top tourist destination, in my opinion, and sure, there are a lot of hotels coming on the market, but my personal opinion is there's enough business for everybody.
Do you envisage yourself here for yourself long term? Never go back to rainy
I don't think that's likely. Yeah, I don't see why not. I wouldn't have stayed here for 10 years if I didn't like it. And again, from a career perspective, when a city is booming like this and an area is booming like the Middle East is at the moment, why would we move? As long as I'm happy, I'll be here.
Front row seat, as they say.
Indeed, yeah.
And tell me, the last thing is just I'd like to share with the young hoteliers, what is it that drives you? What's your passion?
Wow.
What is it that makes you get out of bed, Craig, in the morning?
I'd have to say, that's a good question.
I'd
have to say relationships. I need to work in a job where I like the people that I work with, and I feel like what I do makes a difference. I think my motivation has changed over the years. When I first started, I was extremely ambitious and wanted to climb the ladder very quickly, and now I've realized that it's much more important that you go to work and you're happy. And I would like to be remembered in the future not as the HR director that did this, this and this, but just that people say, I really like working with that guy.
Okay.
That would make me happy.
The relationships are key, obviously.
Yeah, delighted.
Well, thank you for your time. The young hoteliers, I'm sure, are quite reassured that the shift and the focus now should be on staff retention as opposed to the lack of talent that's out there.
Yeah.
Thank you for your time.
My pleasure, thank you.